Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. Good afternoon. Greetings to all participants, my colleagues, both in this country and beyond, and everywhere that we have come together to make to participate in this year's conference. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here again. I'm here to present a paper authored by my senior colleague and I, Dipo Akomolafe, and I, Oluwatoyin Yerokun. We are both residing and working in Nigeria, and we've always been at this conference. It's a privilege to be here again this year. I'm presenting the paper co-authored by my colleague and I. Our paper is titled Integration of Remote Sensing into Forensic Investigations. We all know that forensic is a word that means a scientific method of employing every scientific method that is employed to solve crimes, especially when you follow some legal standards of admissible evidence and criminal procedures. It's not just solving crimes, but solving them within legal jurisdiction and acceptance, so that the evidence and every information presented will be admissible in the court of law. Forensic investigation is a means of gathering and specifically analyzing or analysis of all the crime-related evidences so that they can be presented before the court of law. And it goes a long way to mean that we need to keep track of every evidence from the crime scene and everywhere it passes and everyone that touches it, everyone that is in possession until it is finally obtained. Because if there is no proper record of the movement of this evidence or physical evidences before it is obtained, it probably would have been tampered with or compromised. So in forensic investigation, care is taken to ensure that everything is within is tracked correctly to ensure safety and admissibility in court of the law. So the focus of our work is to apply forensic to apply remote sensing into forensic investigations. You know, remote sensing means acquisition of information or data or whatever that is pertaining to an object or a process or procedure. Every information or everything obtained concerning any particular object of interest or process of interest from a distance without actually being physically present from beginning to the end of the inquisition. So what we are trying to do is to apply remote sensing into forensic investigations to ensure that the evidence is tamper-proofed, is admissible, and is the integrity, to ensure the integrity of that information object or the procedure. So what we have done, or what we intend to do with this paper, our focus is to keep track of a chain of custody of all physical evidences from the location, the movements, and the persons possible that have been in touch with it. And this includes geo-referencing of the map to show all areas under consideration, especially covering a large distance or space, to show all areas under consideration, and then to do a geo-coding of the map with generation of geodetic data, and then collected through remote sensing device. You know, before, normally what we'll do is we locate a crime scene or identify evidence, and then we go to the crime scene collect the data, catalog it as evidence, and then make a case around it and present it in the court of law. But we have also discovered over time that this data or this information gathered can be tampered with in process of movement from one place to another. Even in cataloging it, mistakes can be made and anything can happen, which can lead to that case being jeopardized because the integrity of the information or the evidence has been compromised. So, but now we want to employ remote sensing to gather information about any object, especially pertaining to a crime. This is be done, to ensure that there is a direct record taken from a distance. This will keep the integrity of the record safe, and then to present the information by direct imaging, which could be by aerial photography or by profile or contour maps, and then integrate all the properties of this information, either physical or natural, and present them even before the court of law. And then the major objective is outlined in 4 points. We want to give accurate and current information about crime scenes or evidences, to provide precise and detailed chain of custody from crime scene to the point of acquisition and even to the point of cataloging, to ensure that the integrity is safe, and then to present the coordinate systems to integrate data sets for various analytical operations of entire specified location, and of course to improve cataloging of evidence and geodetic data. We did a review of a few existing works, including the NDVI technology for extracting features presented in 3-band satellite imaging, but we discovered that this cannot be adopted because it will not go very smoothly for locating coordinates, and cannot be used in mapping, especially of various geographic features on the earth, such as mapping them into raster or vector data, and this makes chain of custody documentation very difficult. And a lot of other, there are so many works on this topic, but what we are trying to do is make a little difference, and we have we chose to use the methodology through system designs and all that, and then we want to build a system that can capture, that can record, can process the exact location by plotting the longitude and the latitudes, that's the coordinates of a location, especially of evidence, through a particular distance from the point of committing to from the crime scene to the point at which it was obtained, the coordinates. And we followed this in 3 careful, very simple stages. The first is to capture these locations, the longitude and the latitude, into a spreadsheet format. We used simple Microsoft Excel, and then we now imported this spreadsheet into a GIS software called ArcGIS, and then after that we do what is called the geo-coding and geo-referencing of the data set, and from that we generated a base map that works with GPS and of course the GIS. And we did this by using several examples, one of which I will briefly discuss here. What we did was to get a car that was stolen in Ilesha. Ilesha is a town in Osun State in the southwest region of Nigeria, and was found in Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State is in the north central region of Nigeria, thousands of kilometers apart. So and then even after it was found, it was retrieved back to Ogun State for cataloging and for further investigations. Of course, because of the distance covered, it behoves that care must be taken to ensure that the evidence has not been tampered with, to be able to present an admissible evidence in the court of law. So what we did was to locate the origin of the crime scene, which was in Osun State, Ilesha specifically, and then we created an accurate chain of custody by taking data, the latitude and the longitude recorded by the GPS, by the tracker installed in the car. And so we took all the coordinates recorded from Osun State, and we recorded the coordinates of the scenes by using the receiver, of course, and then we labeled them X and Y axis, that's the longitude and the latitude respectively, and then we identified other notable features which were converted into coordinates to UTM systems, which are admissible and usable by the softwares. And then we repeated the processes for every location that were captured. Of course, from that we're able to create a table, simple tables, just X and Y axis, and then we opened the ArcGIS software and we applied it to geo-reference the spreadsheet by importing it by importing the stored spreadsheet into the software. And then after geocoding the spreadsheet document, we imported it and created the geodetic data, and then we imported a plan, a map, the map of the country, and imposed onto this data, and after which we were able to see all the entire distance that was covered from Osun State to Nasarawa State and back to Ogun State for cataloging. And every person that had contacted this vehicle were recorded with their precise locations, and through surface map and imaging were able to identify each of the locations, and every person involved in this case of a car theft were easily apprehended, and of course catalogued and then packaged as a complete set of evidence that were presented in the that are admissible and to be presented in the court of law. At the end of this exercise, we had a very successful and very smooth data and information without error and with minimum differences in physical, very negligible. So we also did evaluation of our analysis using one of artificial intelligence evaluation metrics, and we got a very high percentage of 97%, which makes our work very efficient, acceptable and admissible. And the conclusion is that using remote sensing will go a very long way in giving us exactly what is information that the integrity will be acceptable without being tampered with, very solid, and can make our cases work faster even in the court of law. And the objectives of the exercise, which were to give accurate and current information about crime scene, to provide precise and detailed chain of custody, were all achieved at the end of the exercise. And this paper is concluded by making these recommendations that further studies into better capturing can be done, but specifically the objectives have been achieved. So this work is recommended for application, especially into forensic investigations. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.